want to get back to breaking news now that we brought you at the top of the hour in Fairfax County. Tom Rousey live for us outside West Potomac High School in the Alexandria portion of Fairfax County. Tom, what else are you learning and hearing from parents?
Well, Michelle, you're going to hear from a frustrated parent in just a moment. Forgive me, we're getting out of the way so more police can arrive on the scene here at West Potomac High School. We just did a press conference, some of which you saw here on Channel 7, in which we did learn some new information about this. But if you look outside here, a lot of these folks who are standing outside near the West Potomac sign here, not all of them, but some of them are parents who are trying to get their children inside, and so far they have not been allowed to go into their children, or the children have not been allowed to go outside to them. And for some, it's been a little bit frustrating here. Now, let me show you some video from the scene that we took earlier. This happened this morning sometime around 9:40, 9:45 or so. According to Fairfax County Police, it started as a fight between three teenagers who are students here at West Potomac High School. Before it was all said and done, they say one of the students, a 15-year-old, stabbed a 16-year-old boy, and initially they described that 16-year-old boy's injuries as potentially life-threatening, but during the press conference they did say they had some positive news. He's definitely injured, but he is now considered stable by the doctors, they say. So at least there's a little bit of positive news here. The 15-year-old has been taken into custody. Now, also during the press conference, we were there in the media, but a lot of the parents we just showed you were also there, and some of them got a little frustrated because they say, we just want to get to our kids, some of whom witnessed this, and this is an exchange that happened.
Sir. Why can't I check out my daughter from school right now? That's all I care about, because there's multiple victims in this, and my daughter is one because she witnessed this. She's telling me, Dad, get me out of here. If everything is safe, like you're saying, I have ID, why can't I check my daughter out of school right now?
So I'm going to share that the paramount responsibility of our leadership team is to make sure that our campus is safe at this moment. They're also making sure that our 4 lunch periods happen in a calm and orderly and safe manner.
I don't care about lunch right now. Like, you're worried about lunch.
I guarantee they don't
I can
care
check
about
my
lunch.
daughter out yesterday during lunch.
As soon
I want
as
to check my daughter out. Why can't I?
If you can let me finish, as soon as the administrative staff is not focused on the current students in front of them, they're going to be able to have an orderly dismissal before school ends for parents that want to have their students. But they do need to take care of first things first.
That's not an acceptable answer.
So any more questions? And I just want to add to the collaborative nature of some of these real-time decisions, and they're tough decisions. A lot of emotions are swirling around, not only outside the school where we are, but inside the school as well. So the last thing we want as responsible adults, whether we're FCPS or FCPD, is to release emotional groups of students and something retaliatory in nature happens down the street this way or down the street that way. So it's always a measured, calculated decision, and inevitably it doesn't make everyone happy, and I think we understand that.
All right, now back out here live in the distance there, you can see some police tape. We believe that the stabbing this morning happened somewhere in that general area, but it was inside the school. I asked the police chief exactly where it took place. He said it was in a hallway in a classroom area where this fight happened, and then also where this stabbing happened. So just a lot of raw emotions. You did hear the superintendent, Michelle Reed of Fairfax County, saying there that before the school day is over, some of those students who are inside right now might be released. But again, a lot of these folks standing here are parents, in one case a grandmother as well, who just want to get their children. I talked to about 3 of them who say their child actually witnessed the stabbing, and they say it was obviously a very traumatic event for a teenager to see that right in front of them. And initially there was a lot of blood, things looked really bad, so those parents very upset, and they just want to get their children at this point, but so far they have not been allowed to do so. But again, you did hear there sometime before the school day is over, they will be allowed. Reporting live in Fairfax County in the Alexandria section outside West Potomac High School, I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.
Tom, before you go, I did hear in that news conference that the superintendent described the school as being a crime scene. Do you get the sense that there's a section of the school where students are not being allowed because it is a crime scene, as to why they're not releasing them just yet?
I'm not sure about that. Again, this did happen in a hallway, so from what I'm told, the school was put under a situation where students were allowed initially to remain in their classrooms, but they said it wasn't a full lockdown because they did, once they realized things were safe and clear, they allowed a situation where, for instance, students can be escorted to lunch. So apparently with teacher escort, students can move about the building, but what they can't do is come outside, and nobody can go inside either. So that's really what I know at this point. However, the police chief did say they are certain there's no continuing threat to students. So they say the threat is totally over. They're not worried about something else breaking out, except what you also heard him say, when students are released, they don't want to see any sort of retaliation, revenge, anything like that happen. When the students are released, they say that's one of the reasons they're being careful and not letting students out yet, Michelle.
All right, I know, Tom, you're going to gather some more information and have a live report for us at 4 o'clock. We'll see you then. Thank you for your reporting. We'll be right back.